Hello, everybody. How's it going? Well, what this is about is I was in the market for a new bike. I demoed several bikes, all of them touring bikes, just for the simple fact that I own a Goldwing. Now, my Goldwing is 38 years old. Yes, it's the second generation Goldwing. So a lot has come up in the motorcycles since then. So I was looking, to get a more comfortable riding bike, something my wife would be comfortable on, things like that. I wanted an upgraded infotainment system. I wanted built-in GPS. You see what I'm going, where I'm going with this. So that left four manufacturers basically. And it left Harley Davidson, it left Indian, and it left Honda with the new Goldwing, and a new player was Yamaha. Yamaha has had the Star Venture for a long time, and I did try the older models, and they were, to me, were very top heavy bikes. Didn't like them at all. They felt wide. I couldn't comfortably be on the bike. Um, just for the simple fact that I am 5'5" and I have a 27-inch inseam. I'm a very short guy. Uh, the reason why I can ride my Goldwing is because, well, it's from the factory. It's not a very tall bike back in 1982. With that being said, I could not upgrade to like a 1500 or an 1800 of a newer model because of the seat height and the width of the newer Goldwings were way bigger than what my bike is. So, first bike I looked at was Harley Davidson. I looked at a Ultra Classic. Found out right off the bat, did not like a Batwing fairing at all. Um, Looked at the Road Glide Ultra. The 2020 model, I believe, is the Road Glide Limited now. Um, Loved the fairing on the bike. Loved how the cockpit was laid out. Liked how everything else was laid out on the bike. However, what killed the motorcycle for me as being a short guy was the kickstand. I could barely, and I do mean barely, I was trying to reach for it with my tippy toe and trying to hold the bike up at the same time. Not a good combination. Now I understand that they make uh, little adapters that you can put on the kickstand to help you grab it and things like that. But I look at it like this: why should I put a lowered seat on it, a lowered bike, a lowered suspension on it, 1 or 2 inches, and have to pay 30 grand for the bike and I still have to modify it? It makes no sense to me. So the Harley Davidson was out. I thought, well, let's try the 2019 Goldwings. They're different. They're a little bit narrower than what they've been previously. Excuse me. They set a little bit lower than what they have previously. Let's try one of those out. So I went and demoed both models. I demoed the manual and I demoed the DTC, the automatic. Now my first impressions, first thoughts of uh, the Goldwing was um, an automatic. Motorcycle is not supposed to be automatic. It's a manual bike. It's supposed to be manual, but I'll get to that here in a second. So I take out the manual and I like it. It's great. Never tried reverse or anything like that. Just kind of rode it around. And then they told me, and then I did demoed the DTC, the automatic. The automatic was, for me, a lot better for the simple fact I didn't have to worry about downshifting it at a stoplight or anything like that. You can put it in full auto and it does everything for you. You can concentrate on keeping the bike up instead of 9 million other things that you normally have to do. It made the ride a little bit more simpler. Now, this demo trip was also on highway. It's how the dealership has it set up. So I'm on the highway. I'm in the middle lane. The slow lane, there's a couple cars. The middle lane where I'm in, there's a car and a semi. And then in the far other lane, the third lane, the hammer lane as I like to call it, there was nothing. So I thought, okay, well, let's try sport out anyway on this bike and see what it does. So I, going down the road, popped it in sport, nailed the throttle. I expected the bike to pick up. What I didn't expect the bike to do was drop 3 gears while doing it. The bike dropped 3 gears, almost picked the front end completely off the ground. And here we go around this car and semi. Now, you have to understand, this took a period of basically 3 seconds to do. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm doing 60 miles an hour when I started. By the time I got past the semi, got back in my own lane, I looked down at the speedometer. I'm doing 110. Very fast bike. I was impressed with that. Got to the dealership, tried to use reverse. Bike is still way too tall. So why spend $30,000 for a bike that you can't use all the functions on the bike? Plus, another thing I did not like about the bike is they took away all the passenger small storage and they limited the rider small storage on the bike as well. So I kind of left disappointed in the Goldwing. I looked at Indian. I looked online on the Indian on the Roadmaster, I believe it is. The seat height on it's 29 inches. That was an instant no-no. I knew better than to even try to demo the bike. Wasn't no sense in even trying. So I left the Yamaha Star Venture Transcontinental, which is a fully loaded bike like, the Goldwing and the Harley would be. But what I later on found out was the Yamaha has more options standard than the Goldwing or the Harley. To even step up to what the Yamaha Transcontinental has, and you still don't get it all on the Harley Davidson, you have to step up to a CVO, a $40,000 bike. That kind of impressed me. So I waited several months before I even demoed. I was just checking the bike out, checking all the specs out on it, the infotainment system, things like that. So I finally get down to the dealership to take a demo on this bike. I go down, I get on it, it's cold, very cold. I rode my Goldwing down because I just wanted to ride. So I'm bundled up on my bike, I'm going down the road. My bike is an oddball of sorts. It does not have the factory carburetors on it anymore. Well, the carbs started messing up on it and fouled out the plugs. I got the carb fixed, but I still had bad plugs. I had like 1 or 2 bad plugs. I had plugs with me, but I didn't have any tools. So I limped it on into the dealership. Walked into the dealership, and because they called me, and they knew that I was coming. So I get there, salesman hits me up, hey, I know you want to demo this, and is there anything you want to know? I said, well, hang on a minute, I got to make a phone call because I got to see if I can get a friend down here to get me some tools. Well, why? What's the problem? I tell him, I've got a fouled out spark plug. I've got spark plugs with me, but I didn't bring my tools with me just for some stupid reason. I just didn't do it. And he goes, oh, that's no problem. He goes, we can hold off on this demo. Take your bike down to the back down by in the mechanic shop. I'll tell a mechanic what you need, that you need tools to change your spark plugs, and we'll get you taken care of. Okay, cool. So, I limped the bike back there. Tell the mechanic, look, I need 5/8 spark plug socket. I need at least a minimum of a 3-inch extension, and I need a ratchet. That's all I need. So he pulls out 2, gets 2 of everything. He gets one side of the bike, I get one side of the other. We put 4 brand new plugs in the bike. I plug the bike up, fire it up, it runs great. hand him back his tools. I tell him thank you, shake his hand, ask him what I owed him. He goes, that's not. He goes, nothing. He goes, that's what we're here for. He says, you had the parts, you just needed to borrow some tools. I thought that was awesome. That impressed me very, very much. So I go back up and I park my bike, and the salesman already has the Transcontinental out of the showroom, fired up, warmed up, ready to go. So I'll go out, do my little test ride. He says, I already put the heated seat on because it's kind of cool out. I already put the heated hand grips on because it's cool out. He goes, if they're a little too hot for you, this is how you change them. Like, cool. So I go and I do my little demo. And then I go in a parking lot and I do figure eights and things like that just to see how the bike handles. Bike handles phenomenal. I loved the way the bike handled. I get back to the parking lot, and the one thing I really wasn't paying attention, but I noticed that I have more of my foot on the ground than I do my Goldwing. So he goes, have you tried the inch forward and inch reverse? It's like, no. He goes, well, pull this lever and push it down. He goes, and rock the bike back and forth. He goes, you notice it's not going anywhere, right? Clutch is out, it's not going anywhere, right? Yeah. He goes, push this button and it'll inch it forward. So I walk the bike forward. He goes, now take this button right here and rock it, take the same button and rock it backwards for reverse. So I did that and I walked it backwards. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever done in my life. I thought it was great. The seating was comfortable. The bike was short person friendly, very short person friendly. I couldn't believe it. Now I could not be flat footed on the bike, but I was pretty darn close. I mean, if I probably wore tennis shoes that were platform style, I could probably very much be flat footed on this bike. And so I did my demo, and I told him, I said, I'm gonna have to get my wife down here. A couple weeks go by. Finally set up a demo, time to demo, when both me and my wife are off and they are open. So we go down. Wife gets on the bike, I get on the bike, and I tell the guy, we're going to be gone for roughly 45 minutes to an hour. I want my wife to have experience on this bike and see what she thinks. I said, because she's the one who dictates if I get it or not. So we go out. She falls in love with the bike. She likes the spike. She likes it that she can plug her phone in and she can listen to whatever she wants to, and I can listen to whatever I want to, and it was great. Loved it. She liked how the seat felt. She felt very comfortable. She liked it. So we go back and go in the dealership, and I'm thinking, okay, we're done. We'll go home. We'll talk about getting this bike and our finance. No. She sits there, takes the salesman, she puts him in the office, and she goes, I want this, and I want this, and I want this. What are my payments going to be? Needless to say, I rode home by myself because she had to drive the car back. But we rode home on I rode home on brand new 2020 Yamaha Venture Transcontinental. I'm very happy with the bike. I have had none, zilch, nada, no issues. I have a 5-year warranty on the bike. And the more I ride it, the more I fall in love with this bike. So if you're out there and you're looking for a bike and you're a short-statured person like I am, and you kind of want a touring bike, but you don't think you can find one that'll fit you, look into this bike. You might fall in love with it like I did. Well, anyway, I'll talk to y'all later, and I hope this was informative enough for y'all. Have a great day. Bye.